Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's have some more short news. Neighbors are up in arms over the lack of action at a house gutted by fire more than 2 months ago in the Villages. The fire heavily damaged the home July 5th at 3311 Mayflower Loop in the village of Charlotte. The cause of the blaze is under investigation by state fire marshal offices. The investigation remains open. Neighbors continue to suffer in the aftermath of the fire and are worried about the instability of the structure as well as dangerous debris at the site. Well, if you just stay off the property, you don't have nothing to worry about. Unhappy residents attended a Community Development District 9 Board of Supervisors meeting Thursday afternoon at Sea Breeze Recreation Center. They described the burned-out home as an eyesore and fear it is becoming a breeding ground for critters, including rats. They are also worried that if a hurricane or tropical storm hits, debris from the home could come flying in their direction. Unfortunately, the residents got little satisfaction by attending the meeting. They were told that the home is the subject of an open deed compliance case. Therefore, supervisors, district staff, and district council cannot comment on the status of the case. The home was purchased in 2021 by Kevin Charles Pettit for $342,500. The CDD9 board has wrestled for more than a year with a home destroyed by fire in 2022 at 3000 Lurville Road in the village of Gilcrest. The construction at the home was supposed to have been completed in June. It may not be done until November. Fines are accumulating at CDD9 board chairman Jack Reamer said a lien has been placed against the home. A dumpster still sitting in the front yard. He appears to be thumbing his nose at us, said Supervisor Steve Brown. We don't want this again in the future. A speeding villager in a BMW was jailed after driving in defiance of a recent sentence for drunk driving. Andrea Lee Feeney, 68, of the village of Lake Deaton, was at the wheel of a white BMW X3 when she was driving on County Road 156 at a high rate of speed, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. A radar check showed she was traveling at 50 miles per hour in a 25 miles per hour zone. During the traffic stop, Feeney said she had been at her first probation appointment and she got lost. She claimed that she had been informed she could drive for the appointment. Last month, Feeney was placed on probation for 1 year, and her driver's license was suspended for 1 year after she pleaded no contest to the charge of driving under the influence. The officer who stopped Feeney for speeding contacted Feeney's probation officer, who said that Feeney is not allowed to drive, including prohibiting on driving to a probation appointment. Feeney was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. Because the arrest was considered a violation of her probation, she was booked without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. She was issued a written speeding warning. A villager who had a few beers was arrested after driving very slow on U.S. Highway 27 and 441. Karen Lee Saunders, 57, of the village of Santo Domingo, was driving a car at 2:40 a.m. Saturday at a very slow rate of speed with no visible lights on the rear of her vehicle. A traffic stop was initiated on intersections U.S. Highway 27 and 441 and County Road 466A. While the officer was speaking with Saunders, he could detect the odor of alcohol emitting from the vehicle, made stronger while she was speaking. The officer asked Saunders if she had been drinking. She admitted she had consumed a few beers. Saunders' poor performance in the field sobriety exercises led the officer to conclude she had been driving impaired. She provided breath samples that registered 0.152 and 0.148 blood alcohol content. She was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. She was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $1,000 bond. A guest at the hotel in the Villages was arrested after allegedly striking a dog with his flip-flop. Oda Zvrina, 48, of Eunice, Louisiana, was a guest at the Marriott Town Place Suites at Spanish Springs. This past weekend when he was apparently enraged by the dog pooping on the carpet of room 231 and him stepping on the dog feces, according to the arrest report. He took off his flip-flop and struck the dog 3 times, causing it to yelp and squeal. The dog was traumatized and hid underneath a table. The woman who owns the dog picked up the pet, grabbed her young sister, and left the hotel for 30 minutes. When she returned and tried to reclaim her belongings in room 231, Zverina punched her with a closed fist and placed both of his hands on her neck, attempting to choke her. The younger sister told police she used a broomstick to strike Zverina in the back, but he would not let go of her sister's neck. When police officers spoke to Zverina, they noticed he had a strong odor of alcohol beverage emitting from his breath. The village's public safety department was summoned to the scene and performed an evaluation of Zverina, who had suffered an injury to his left eye, probably from the sister beating him with a stick. A criminal history check revealed that he had been arrested in 2005 in Louisiana on a charge of simple battery. The California native was arrested on charges of battery and animal cruelty. He was booked at the Lake County Jail on a $15,000 bond. Letters to the editor. Common sense has truly died. Those villas sold with stone in the yard when the CDD rule against stone wasn't in place should obviously not be made to replace the stone. Those sold homes after the no stone rule was quietly put into place should have it removed and replaced with grass at the expense of the realty company who sold the home. Get real, people. Repeal the rule against the stone since nobody seems to know why it was changed. Lawsuits can be costly, and in this case, common sense thinking would solve the issue. That's sent in by Lois Philbrick, the village of Briar Meadow. That's the short news for today. See you on the other side.